So I have 3n cubed minus 12n squared plus 2n plus 8. Now notice if I go through each of these terms, I don't have one thing that goes into all of them. So for instance, between these two, I can see that 3 would be my coefficient, but 3 doesn't go into these two. So I can't do a GCF for all of them for all 4 terms. Instead, I'm going to split it into groups. So I'm going to take this polynomial and I'm going to split it into 2 groups. Now in my first group, I'm going to find the GCF for that. So I can see that 3 goes into both of these. So I know GCF there would be 3. So I'm going to do like we've done before on the other ones. I'm going to divide by that 3. Now looking at my variables, remember I'm always looking for my lowest exponent. So my lowest exponent would be 2. So that means that my GCF here is going to be 3n squared. But that's not the case over here. 3n squared does not go into both of these. So on this side, past this line, because remember I split it into 2 groups, I'm going to find the GCF over here. And the GCF between 2 and 8 is 2. And since the 8 doesn't have a variable on it, I'm not going to have a variable in my GCF. So then after I found those GCFs for each of the groups, I'm going to do that same division like we did before. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. N cubed divided by n squared, I'm going to subtract my exponents, giving me n. 12 divided by 3 is 4. N squared divided by n squared is 1. So I get n minus 4. Now over here, when I divide, 2 divided by 2 is going to give me n. And then 8 divided by 2. I'm sorry. This was supposed to be a minus. Let me change that. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I have n minus 4. Now I'm going to rewrite these just like we did last time with the GCF problems, where my GCF is going to be out front, 3n squared is out front, and this part up top is going to be next to it, n minus 4. Now this plus sign is still going to go here next to it with that GCF, and then what we had above there, n minus 4. Okay, so if we look back what we did before with GCF, we're kind of doing that GCF twice now. Now the next thing is we have to see that there's another GCF here. Notice n minus 4 is here and n minus 4 is here. So n minus 4 becomes my new GCF, and I'm going to factor that out front. When I divide out that n minus 4, those would cancel and I would have 3n squared left here. When I divide out my n minus 4, because I've pulled it out here in front, n minus 4 divided by n minus 4 is 1, so I have 2 left here. So 3n squared plus 2 would be left, and this is my answer. So factoring by grouping is just like factoring using the GCF, except we're using that GCF 3 different times.